And now joined by Jeff Houston at our broadcast position in advance of the Comets and SeaWolves playing here on Sports Shake Field. Let's talk about the Comets. They've been battling some inconsistencies. Where are the Comets going to get some scoring contributions other than Leo Gibson?
Well, you know, they're just waiting for the next player to step up. Kevin Ellis was signed to provide some stability on that back line and help with that transition. So guys like Anthony Grant, Nacho, Adam James, they can start picking up the shots and getting more goals or more shots within the goal. The team is one of the top in the league in shots taken. Now we just got to get them in the back of the net.
And the Comets are running out of home games, aren't they?
3 games left after today, so every game is a playoff game already.
Yeah, let's talk about Orlando. They're at 500. They're tied with the Comets. They are led by Gordy Gerson, but they're also going to have another defender back in their lineup, right?
Yeah, Derek Huffman is returning to the team. He played with them when they were in Cedar Rapids the last few years. But, you know, this team relies on Gordy Gerson, and that revolves around him. They've got some great offensive weapons, but everybody, when you think about Orlando, you think about Gordy Gerson and what he can do.
All right, Jeff, we'll see you at halftime. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, it is the Comets and the SeaWolves coming up here from Silverstein Ice Centers Arena on MASL TV. Live from Silverstein Ice Centers Arena, welcome into MASL TV this afternoon. The 7-7 Kansas City Comets host their South Central rivals, the Orlando SeaWolves, who come in at 5-5. Let's give you the starting lineups first for the Orlando SeaWolves. In goal, it'll be Peter Sliwa, who picked up the win on Friday night in St. Louis for Orlando. He'll be starting in goal. The 2 defenders in front of him will be Joshua Sandoval as well as Derek Huffman. You might recall that name. Huffman got himself into a little bit of trouble last year with his use of social media and the league, but he has signed and is back out there for Orlando this afternoon. The 2 midfielders are Mario Alvarez as well as Gordy Gerson, their leading scorer with 32 points, and the forward will be Osvaldo Rojas. Now for the Kansas City Comets, the hometown Comets. In goal, it's Brett Petracek will be making his 11th start of the season. The 2 defenders in front of him, John Sosa and Alan Matingu. Midfielders are Brian Perez and Ramon Palmer, and the forward starting tonight is Stefan Stokic. He has already gone off. He'll be a defensive runner for Leo Gibson, who is now into the game. It is the SeaWolves and the Comets meeting up for the first time this season. Can you believe it's been this long since we have seen the SeaWolves? It couldn't be more important at this point of the season. You have 3 teams in the South Central that are all tied for second place. Kansas City with a record of 7-7, St. Louis with a record of 8-8, as well as Orlando with a record of 5-5. So this game will be important. Also, we are watching around the league, the Ambush are in action today. They are hosting the Florida Tropics, and that game is getting underway here in just about 45 minutes. So we'll keep you up to date on that game as well as 2 other games going on around the league here on MASL TV. Comets in their home blues, blue shirts, blue shorts, trimmed in red, blue socks. Orlando comes in all yellows, yellow tops, yellow shorts, and yellow socks. First changes of the game out there for both teams. So we are now seeing for Orlando, Elmo Neto is back out there again. Here's Nacho Flores for the Comets. Gets it down, and a shot there by Kevin Ellis is off the mark. And then Peter Sliwa gathers it up. Peter Sliwa, he's making just his 5th start of the season. Again, he's 2-1 with 1 overtime loss and winning on Friday night in St. Louis in dramatic fashion. Gordy Gerson gets the overtime goal to propel Orlando past St. Louis 7-6. Gerson leaves it back for Neto. Neto goes far post, trying to pounce on the rebound, and it's kicked away by the Comets. Now Gerson trying to jam it back in there. Neto will kick it all the way back to Sliwa. Neto goes off, Gerson stays on. There's Richard Schmerman in the back. Coming up is Drew Goff instead. The keeper plays it into the corner. Sliwa on down to Rojas. Rojas away from the goal to Schmerman. And then Rojas out of bounds, kicked it right out of bounds and turns it right over to Kansas City with 11:57 left to play in the first. Nick Vassos here live on MASL TV. Our whole Silverstein Ice Centers crew, Brad Zimmerman, Lindsay Adele, Jeff Houston, our photographers here. Great to have you along this afternoon. Anthony Grant with a try out front. Save made by Sleva. Anthony gets it back. Tries to play it back to Sosa. Now John Sosa on over to Matingu. Sosa, one of the leading shot blockers, is the leading shot blocker for the Comets. He has a dozen. Here's Matingu. He's number 2 with 11. Sosa from Colombia plays it down to Ramon Palmer, broken up by Orlando. I might say Cedar Rapids a couple of times, and you can't fault me for that because this is basically Cedar Rapids' team from a year ago in which they played 2 very close games against the Milwaukee Wave in the postseason. Milwaukee coming away with 2 victories, 2 one-point victories over last year's Cedar Rapids Rampage, and they basically have the same club back now down in Orlando, Florida. Sandoval kicks it ahead for Rojas. Rojas off the boards, kicked away by Kansas City, and then volleyed back in, but over the glass. That went off the foot of Jonathan Mendoza, the rookie from Bogota, Colombia, and the Comets will have a goalkeeper distribution. Brett Petracek, you know, curious to see how he performs this afternoon. Petracek for Kansas City, he is making his 11th start of the season. He's 4-5 and a 6.4 goals against average. But Petracek, you know, played for Cedar Rapids last year at the beginning of the season. And then the organization and Petracek did not see eye to eye, or for whatever reason, and Brett kind of sat quietly in Cedar Rapids' system. He wasn't allowed to go to another team. So there was a little bit of acrimony between Petracek and his old mates in Cedar Rapids. So maybe there'll be a little fire in the belly here of Petracek against his old team, which is now the Orlando SeaWolves. Restart coming up to Kansas City. Here's Sosa down to the corner, into the middle, shot, and a goal! Kansas City strikes first off the restart. It's Alain Matingu. And the Frenchman gives Kansas City the early lead. It's Alain's 4th goal on the season. I didn't see who got the assist there, but Sosa, the trigger man. And we'll see that replay coming up here in just a second as we look at the Frenchman sign an autograph and toss it up into the crowd. Here's a look at it again. Down to the corner. And I believe that's Guy Gomez. Nope, Perez. 4:48 time of the goal. A long one from I almost said Cedar Rapids. Boy, big pile up there in front of the Comets goal, and Anthony Grant comes out with it. Anthony's trying to split the 2 defenders, then played it forward, but back there was Schmerman for Orlando. Here's Perez picking up the yellow miter ball, the official ball of the MASL in the midfield, and played it all the way back to Schmerman. Schmerman back to Sleva. 9.5 to play in the first. 1-0 Kansas City on a restart goal. Kansas City with the interception on the long pass. Gibson plays it forward to Robert Palmer. Palmer tried to return past to Leo, falls down, and here comes Orlando back the other way. The SeaWolves get it out right. Rojas goes off the boards through the area. Gerson was on the far post, couldn't catch up with it. Now Grant and the Comets back the other way. Here's Kevin Ellis in the midfield area. Ellis had it for a moment and then lost it. Played along the near boards. That off the foot of Cruz. Forward to Rojas. Now out towards the center area. And the pass there is picked off by the Comets. Gerson trying to track it down. We've seen Byron Alvarez introduced in the starting lineups. You might remember Alvarez was a scoring sensation early on for the Comets back in the 2010 to 2013 seasons, where he scored 93 goals in 3 years. Byron recently signed by Kim Runfed and the Kansas City Comets. So he's active for tonight. We'll see if he gets any game time. Here's Kevin Ellis. You heard him on the pregame interview. He plays it to Sosa, who's got space. Sosa shoots! Looking for the far post to Nacho Flores. The Comets caught Orlando on the change. Now Sosa into the corner looking for Nacho or for Ellis. Here's Ellis. Sleva gets it and throws it out to Neto. Neto, Rookie of the Year back in 2010 when he's a member of the Missouri Comets. Now rolled in there, still loose out front. Petracek somehow got a piece on that one to kick it away from the goal. Petracek, oh, now Stokic goes in hard. And that one was obvious. Stokic goes right to the penalty area. That was a dangerous play there by the Comet defender, Stefan Stokic, as he took down the legs of Edwin Rojas, the 4-year arena player from who's played in Chicago and in Cedar Rapids. Media timeout on the field. The Comets will be on the correction, will be a man down when we come back. 7:23 left to play in the first. Kansas City 1, Orlando nothing on MASL TV.
Have you ever experienced a tequila aged 7 years in an American oak barrel and finished off 1 year in a French oak barrel? Califino, treat yourself to the fino things in life. Use promo code FINO30 to get 30% off your entire order. Buy now on califinotequila.com.
Smile.
No matter how well you provide for your family today, if you don't have life insurance, their future may be at risk. Why not help guarantee those you love $250,000 or more with life insurance through AIG Direct? Less than $14 a month buys a 40-year-old man a $250,000 term life policy. That's up to 3 times what you can get from other companies for the same price. Make the future more secure for those you love.
Call 1-800-723-8547.
Is your credit card debt driving you batty?
We're going up! Just like your credit card fees and interest rates. Always fear, the debt suckers are here.
One call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your back. Consolidated Credit will lower your interest rates, consolidate your bills into one easy payment, and get you out of debt fast. Call Consolidated Credit and get your life back.
Call 800-207-4423. That's 800-207-4423.
All right, Orlando is on the power play. Kansas City goes down a man. Orlando 46% on power play goals this year. They are 11 of 24. Gordy Gerson leads the SeaWolves with 2 power play goals. The Comets' penalty killing percentage is 57%. And the Comets have 1 shorthanded goal. Out there for the man down team for Kansas City, it's Robert Palmer, Ramon Palmer, Alan Matingu, and James Togba. Here comes Robert Palmer, who gets it across the half line and then puts on the brakes. Now Togba will dart inside into the corner here. And a foul called on Kansas City. So the Comets will scramble back, down a man. The power play team for Orlando, Osvaldo Rojas, Gordy Gerson, Elmo Neto, Yoshio Sandoval, and also out there is Mario Alvarez. And Alvarez has the ball right now. 6.5 to play in the first. And 1 minute, 9 seconds on the advantage to the SeaWolves. Stefan Stokic in the penalty box for a tripping penalty. Really dangerous play by Stokic. And a foul called against Orlando. So the Comets early on here with about a minute gone by in the penalty have done a good job there. There's James Togba. By the way, he leads the league in power play goals with 5, James Togba. Comets, now Matingu. He'll chip it forward. That one will bounce 2 times. Sleva underhands it on out to Alvarez. Now played near side for Sandoval. Sandoval near side Neto. Neto's pass intercepted by Robert Palmer. And then Nacho out with it. And then taken right back by Orlando. 30 seconds left on the power play. Comets lead 1-0. Sandoval drives one in there. Now Neto with a shot. That one no good. Alvarez thought about it for a moment. Neto gets it. Neto shoots. Good block by Nacho. Another shot and a goal by Neto. He has been doing it forever. And Neto ties the game up at 1 on a power play goal at 5:35. Here's Sandoval, finds Neto. Neto drove it right into Flores, but the rebound goes right through the 5-hole of Brett Petracek. And Neto just keeps on scoring in the indoor game. That is his 3rd on the year at 36 years old. He's still got it. Adato Neto ties the game up at 1. Neto, the 2011 Rookie of the Year for the Missouri Comets. Of course, he has spent time on winning teams in Baltimore, Syracuse, most recently with Harrisburg. And Neto continuing his career now with the Orlando SeaWolves. And we are tied up at 1, and here come the SeaWolves again. Rojas, front and center. Here's another drive. Gets by Petracek, but not on frame. And Brett scrambles back to get the ball. Near side, Brian Perez. Here comes some high pressure from Orlando. Sosa plays it up to Ramon Palmer. Palmer across the line. Splits 2 defenders. Plays it into the corner, but a little bit off the mark. Now Togba. Togba there. Battling with the Orlando player, Luis Mata. Now the ball loose out front. Sliva kicks it away. Back to Sliva. He plays it 1 touch. And on out to Perez. Now right side, Togba who shoots. Sliva makes the save. And will scramble back to pick up the rebound. 4.5 to play in the first. And we're tied at 1. Comets exerting a lot of energy here to win the ball back, play some defense. Out with the ball in the midfield area is Mario Alvarez. Leaves it back to Huffman. Now forward it comes to Neto. Now Neto, correction, this one, it is Huffman. Huffman has 89 on his shorts and number 9 on his jersey here, so I'll do my best here to identify Mr. Huffman. Looks like he's wearing an extra pair of Yoshio shorts. There's Huffman who flashed in there just a moment. Here's Stokic, who is back on the field. He'll go off. And Sandovari and Anthony Grant come back on. Kevin Willis plays a leading pass down to Sandovari. Sliva comes off his line to kick it away. Ellis now trying to dig it out of the boards there with a couple of other players still loose. Neto is in there as well, and it squirts off towards the half line, and Sosa will kick it back to Petracek. Here's Togba now. Kansas City 7-7, Orlando 5-5. First meeting between these two teams. Orlando looking for the handball there, not called it. Huffman came out to challenge that pass to Sandovari, and a good defensive play there by Huffman. Changes for Orlando. Here is Togba now, and Togba goes down after a push from Elmo Neto. Fans looking for a little bit more there from the official, Ron Corey. Here's another look at it. Togba trying to go around Neto, and Neto just puts his forearms out there and shoves him to the ground. Fans might have a point. Drive there by the Comets just above the bar, and that sent a collective ooh from the crowd there. Out of bounds off Kansas City, and Orlando is going to have it here with 2:29 left to play in the first. We are tied at 1. Goal by Alan Matingu for the Comets, and a power play goal by Elmo Neto. Here's Gorson coming out for the loose ball. Petracek off his line to kick it away. Ramon Palmer trying to move it forward. Now Rojas to Gerson, pinballing around in front of the Comets net. And Gerson comes in, almost got another drive, blocked by Kansas City. Unbelievable block there by Robert Palmer. Now the Comets back the other way. Here's Matingu. Matingu shoots. Could not get enough leather on that one. And Orlando trying to clear it away. 1:52 left to play in the first. Good action here in the first 15 minutes between these two South Central Division teams tied for second place in the South Central Division. 1:41 left to go in the first. Sandoval with the ball for Orlando. Sleva, again making just his 5th start of the season, plays along for Rojas. Also coming in there was Edwin Rojas. Now Petracek leads Adam James down the right side. 1 minute and 4 seconds left. James puts on the brakes. Will play it away from the goal to Tagba.
1 minute remaining.
Tagba goes the other side of the field to Sosa. Now over to Gibson. Leo Gibson's scoring streak was stopped last week when Milwaukee beat KC 8-2. Now here's a drive and a save made by Petracek. What a good save there by Petracek, then driven back in there, or floated back in, I should say. And Petracek has it, and we've got a player down. Player down on the field. And it looks like it might be a Comet player. We have 40 seconds left to play in the first. And while we've got this injury timeout here, let's give you some updates on scores around the MASL this afternoon. Baltimore gets by Utica at home 6-5. So Baltimore avoids losing their 3rd home game of the season narrowly. And they pick up the win 6-5. Baltimore improves to 10-6. And UCFC falls to 12-5. Also a final, Florida has taken care of St. Louis. And Florida wins on the road. Oh, actually, that game's in the 4th. Hold on, Nick. Don't get too excited here. The game is in the 4th, and the Tropics have a 1-goal lead over St. Louis, 6-5. That would bode well for KC. Gordy Gerson, the shaken-up player, in the corner. And hard to tell if he bumped into the boards. Good to see that Gordy is walking off under his own power. I think we've got the replay of it here. There's Gordy. You know, Gordy, it's not the first time that Mr. Gerson, you know, may have been carded for embellishment. So, and I'm not saying that was the case there, but, you know, I mean, just saying. If you were a member of MASL Off the Wall, you know that their cover page has a picture of Gordy Gerson holding up a sign that says, "Stop flopping." So that's very, and that's part of his charm, I think. You know, Gordy's charm as a player. Not only is he a very good player, but, you know, he likes to have fun with lots of people. Good fun, okay? You know, nothing that's going to, you know, be out of bounds or off the family channel. But I like his game and I like his attitude. He loves playing. 20 seconds left to play in the first. We are tied at 1. Also, one other score, Harrisburg is hosting Mississauga, and they lead it 4-1. Harrisburg, as you know, got a good win on Friday night over the Wave. Last night, I should say, over the Wave. A 1-point win over the Wave last night. Here's Tagba with a drive, headed in on the rebound. It's Kevin Ellis. He gets his first goal as a member of the Kansas City Comets. And what a goal it is, 2-1 Kansas City. There's Sosa on the restart, plays it out to the right. Tagba drives it in there, but it didn't have a lot of mustard on it, and Ellis cleans it up. So Tagba the assist, and Ellis gets the header to put Kansas City ahead 2-1 with 18 seconds left to play here in the first. Kevin Ellis just signed a couple of weeks ago. If you were with us here in the pregame, Ellis, 8 years in the MLS, 7 with Sporting Kansas City, comes over to the indoor game, the arena game, and picks up his first goal. Boy, the first game last week against Milwaukee, you could see how Kevin Ellis was going to help this team, both defensively and offensively. It was clear last week that Kevin had the ability to handle both sides of the field, and right there we saw it as the horn sounds ending the first 15 minutes. And Kansas City with a late goal in the opening frame. There he is. Kansas City leads it 2-1 over the Orlando SeaWolves.
Have you ever experienced a tequila aged 7 years in an American oak barrel and finished off 1 year in a French oak barrel? Califino treat yourself to the fino things in life. Use promo code FINO30 to get 30% off your entire order. Buy now on califinotequila.com.
Is IRS debt affecting you and your family? If you received a wage garnishment notice, a bank levy, or have unfiled taxes, or if you have an existing IRS debt of $10,000 or more, you need to make the call.
I made the call, and Paramount gave me peace of mind.
Paramount Tax Relief. We're here when it counts the most.
I made the call.
I made the call.
We made the call.
For a free consultation, make the call today.
Is your credit card debt driving you batty?
We're going up! Just like your credit card fees and interest rates. Always fear, the debt suckers are here.
One call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your back. Consolidated Credit will lower your interest rates, consolidate your bills into one easy payment, and get you out of debt fast. Call Consolidated Credit and get your life back.
Call 800-207-4423. That's 800-207-4423.
When Domino's is out for delivery, use Domino's new dinner bell to get the family home.
Sorry. 8 atoms of hydrogen.
You're never going to use this anyway.
I gotta go.
Ring the dinner bell and they'll come running for their mix and match favorites. Choose any 2 or more like bread twists, specialty chicken, pizza, or salads for only $5.99 each.
And back live on MASL TV, live look inside the huddle. Whatever Coach Kim Runfed said to the boys before the game has them playing at a much higher level than we've seen recently during home games. There is the great Leo Gibson, whose point streak was broken last week in Milwaukee. Leo with 41 points. He has been at the very top in MASL scoring all season long. Leo Gibson has been a scoring machine since he was acquired by the Comets in 2010. So he's been here nearly 10 years. And Leo Gibson stands in the center circle as the Comets will have the ball to begin the second quarter, leading 2-1 over the Orlando SeaWolves. We'd like to invite you to join the MASL podcast. Join host Craig Elston as he talks to players, officials, and coaches from across the league and takes you behind the scenes of the MASL. Check it out at MASLsoccer.com to listen to past episodes and subscribe to the official MASL podcast. I will be fortunate enough to be a guest on the MASL podcast coming up on Tuesday. So look for the latest editions here, and I'll be talking about this game and everything inside of the South Central Division on the MASL's official podcast hosted by Mr. Craig Elston, who does a terrific, wonderful job on that podcast as well as his broadcast for the San Diego Sockers. Both keepers switch ends, and the Comets back out there. And Anthony Grant has it. Anthony goes off the boards looking for Perez, who flashed in there for a moment. The SeaWolves are playing great defense. They played back to their keeper, Sliva. Kicks it away. Sosa gets it back, trying to cut it back to Anthony Grant. Kicked away, but taken away there by Alan Matingu, who was marking Neto. So good job there by Matingu to stay with his man, because Neto was out there poaching on the half line. It's not the first time he's been out there poaching, right? Neto, such a skillful player. Again, at the age of 36, he scores the lone goal for Orlando so far here this afternoon. Alvarez kicks it away for the SeaWolves. This one played up to Mata. Mata loses it. Sosa tried to play it forward, but banged right off of Alvarez. Back towards the Comets half of the field. Kansas City on over to Petracek. Brett's got a good first 15 minutes under his belt here in this game. Pass intercepted by Kansas City and taken back over. Now some changes. Kevin Ellis returns to the field. Gibson down in the corner trying to get it over to Ellis. Gibson gets it back, bangs it off the keeper. Now front and center, Matingu with a blast. Another one by Ellis, no good. Oh, Ellis on the doorstep, making a bid for number 2. And then kicked out of bounds by Orlando, and the Comets are going to have it on the restart here. Wild action in front of that guy right there. Peter Sliva from Poland. That drive there by Matingu was tough. He tried to go in for the rebound, but fanned on it. Now live action again. Sosa gets it in there! It deflects in! Sosa faked one way and then played it right down Main Street. I think it went off a SeaWolf player and into the back of the net. Sosa scores. Yes, it did. It goes off Sandoval. And the Comets lead 3-1. Look at that. Sosa, he does that so many times. He fakes one way and then plays it back the next. Very effective. Sosa, the Colombian native, picks up his 7th goal on the season. And that one unassisted off the restart. Kansas City builds a 2-goal bulge here against Orlando. 13 minutes and 3 seconds here to go in the second quarter. Sliva chips one forward, looking for Gerson flashing in there. Now Nacho out with the ball, and that one kicked out of bounds off of Gerson. And the SeaWolves and the Comets will have it. And they'll play it back to Petracek. Here's Nacho. Boy, it sure would be great to get Nacho going, wouldn't it, if you're a Comet fan? Togba racing down the right side with it. Togba back to the center circle to Ramon Palmer. Correction, Robert Palmer. Robert Palmer now right side for Togba. Kyle Williams is also not available today. We talked about Lucas Rodriguez and Kyle Williams. Here's Rojas with a drive, and that one off a Comet player and out of bounds. Osvaldo Rojas. He's from Tuxpan, Mexico. Huffman goes off the boards, and it goes right to Nacho. Nacho plays it forward to Sosa, and Sosa gets knocked down by Huffman, and a foul called on Orlando.
Orlando foul number 9.
There's Stefan Stokic. Stokic, one of the 4 players on this team that won the title back in 13-14, and there's Huffman, as you can see, put his forearms up and got into the back of Stefan Stokic. Stokic has been with this team, like Leo Gibson, since 2010. Petracek backpedaling here, gets it out to Matingu. He splits the defense and gets it over to Robert Palmer, and the Comets are on the run. Here's Palmer across the line. Now inside the yellow line, Palmer to Matingu, shoots! Ding dong off the post. That one hit the crossbar. Comets trying to get the rebound. Matingu again. The big Frenchman's feeling it now, James. Just trying to put one on goal. Huffman back there and plays it to Sliva, who goes forward to Rojas. Osvaldo Rojas in front of the SeaWolves bench. Now Schmerman, the St. Louis native, will stop and play it all the way back to Sliva, and they'll get some fresh legs on the field and then reset their offense. Guy Gomez is out there for the Comets. Collision in the midfield area, and the ball eventually won by Sandoval. Yoshio Sandoval, correction, Luis Mata. Mata goes over to Alvarez, who sends it into the corner for Neto. The ball goes through several SeaWolves players and right to a Comet player, and that's Alan Matingu. He'll play it back to Robert Palmer. Palmer will hold the ball and let the Comets get a change on the field. and then play it back to Petracek. Here comes pressure from the SeaWolves, and Neto wins the ball from the Comets. Now Neto is very strong on the ball. Neto might be 5'5", 5'6", but you will not find a stronger person with the ball than Neto, that guy right there. And with his back to the goal, he's tough. Been doing it for years and years. Neto asking the referee to mark the distance in the wall. Brian Perez will have to step back a few steps. Neto, front and center drive, blocked, and a foul is called. Good communication there by Petracek and Robert Palmer. And Palmer, once again, that's the second time he's gone down to sacrifice his body on the block and to help out his keeper, Petracek. So the Comets doing the little defensive things here early to help them out to a 3-1 lead. Here comes Orlando again. Alvarez is there. He had it poked away from behind. That one headed out of bounds off of Perez. He did not want to do it, but he did. And that's going to give a restart here at the top of the arc to Orlando. 10:18 left to play in the first half. 3-1 KC. Sandoval, Gerson, shot from the near side, no good. Schmerman's got it right wing. Schmerman drives one in there off the board. Rebound shot, no good. Blocked off the line by Kansas City. Holy cow. Unbelievable defense there by the Comets. And they try to counter the other way. Here comes Togba. Togba marked by Schmerman. Togba plays it back to the half line. Nobody's there. Gerson picks it up. It's Gerson versus Gibson. Gerson runs right into Leo, and a foul called on Gibson.
John's foul number 14, Leo Gibson, is first of the half.
I think those are one of those professional fouls that players will often tell you about. Gerson was not going to be allowed to continue to go forward. Here's another look at it here. Leo, you think Neto is strong on the ball? Leo is just the same exact way. Leo might not be the tallest player, but you try to get the ball away from him, good luck. Here's Schmerman with a drive. Leo Gibson with an unbelievable block. That's going to leave a mark. Leo's going to go off the field. Stokic comes back on. Kansas City trying to clear it out. Sandoval plays it over to Sliva. Sliva into the corner. Petracek off his line to boot it away. Brett, he retreats. Now Orlando still in the corner. So is Stokic. Rojas leaves it for Sandoval. Now front and center it comes to Schmerman. Schmerman a long drive off the boards. That one got through and then comes back out to Sandoval. 9 minutes to play in the first half. 3-1 Kansas City over Orlando, their first meeting of the year. Here's Neto. Now Sandoval, Edwin Rojas, Yoshio. Forward to Neto. Neto will use the wall. Nobody there for Orlando. Good defense by Kansas City. 8.5 to play in the half. Edwin Rojas, cross Sport Shake Field to the far side, then back into the middle to Sandoval. Forward it goes down to Neto. Neto marked by Sosa. Now front and center, and then right side, Edwin Rojas. Kansas City with 5 behind the line. Neto. Sandoval. Edwin Rojas. This almost looks like a power play, doesn't it? Down to Neto. Good possession here by Orlando. Neto, after passing the ball, goes off, and Osvaldo Rojas comes on. Here's Sandoval. Boy, the SeaWolves have had it for the better part of 2 minutes now on this possession. Edwin Rojas to the center circle. Sandoval. Now Sandoval into the corner. Kicked away. And the rebound shot goes up and over the glass off the foot of Edwin Rojas. And we have an official timeout on Sport Shake Field. Let's take a break. No scoring so far here in the second quarter, but good possession time here by Orlando. We'll be back with the score, Kansas City 3 and Orlando 1 on MASL TV.
To honor the men and women who defend our country, tonight please welcome Chelsea Bartow to the Domino's Defender Suites. Chelsea is originally from Fountain, Colorado. She served in the United States Army as a healthcare specialist and was stationed in Germany. She's been a proud military spouse of 8 years. Her husband, Staff Sergeant Devin Bartow, served in the U.S. Army as well. She continues to serve as a civilian at Munson Army Health Center in Fort Leavenworth. Comets fans, one more time, let's give Chelsea a big round of applause and a big thank you to the Domino's of Kansas City to help honor the men and women of these worthy veterans. Thank you, Steve, and thank you, Chelsea. With miles of outdoor biking and walking trails, to fishing and woodland hiking, Independence is home to an abundance of activities to help keep you and your family moving and entertained. Chase new adventures on the trail at Georgia Owens Nature Park, or get your heart racing on the Little Blue Trace Trail.
Okay.
Outdoor lovers rejoice. If it's a breath of fresh air you long for, visit Independence invites you to explore what adventure awaits in your own backyard. Get a large 3-topping carry-out pizza from Domino's every day of the week for just $7.99. You can also earn Domino's reward points online, in person, or over the phone. Domino's, the official pizza partner of the Comets.
Hey fans, outside of being on the team, the best way to know what is happening around the MASL is to tune in to Kick This every weekend. Soccer Sam chats about the ins and outs and all the MASL action. He's got a lot of guests from around the league. Find out what you can learn from Kick This every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. That's 10 o'clock Central on iHeartRadio. 7:19 left to play in the first half. Kansas City leading 3-1. One goal in this second quarter, and that's been scored by John Sosa, a restart goal. And that one coming at 1:47 of the second quarter. Here comes Orlando. And there, Mata ran into a couple of Comet defenders. One of them, Leo Gibson, who's trotting back the other way. There's Leo Gibson. Gibson among the leaders in assists. He has 19 goals, 22 assists, and again, 41 points for Leo Gibson. Here's Huffman. Derek Huffman, if you're just joining us late, Derek Huffman, who played last year for Cedar Rapids, who found himself in the doghouse of the MASL for his, what should we say here, for his use of social media in regards to playing for Cedar Rapids. So anyway, it's he's on double secret probation. No, but he's back, signed for Orlando, and I know they're happy about it. Huffman, certainly one of the more colorful players inside the MASL and a darn good defender. A third block there by Robert Palmer, and Palmer has taken shots like that 3 times tonight. Robert Palmer, you see Berto there on the back of his jersey. Palmer from Kingston, Jamaica. Ball out of bounds and a restart here. Here's a drive by Gerson. And did he do it again? He did it a 4th time. Palmer sacrificed his body the 4th time there. Now Sandoval back with it. And down on the log roll once again is Guy Gomez. Guy Gomez scored his first goal last week when the Wave were here in town. And Guy Gomez excited about his more prominent role on the Comets side. So getting into the defensive action here is Gomez. We've got a whistle, and now we've got a shaken up player on the field. It looks like Richard Schmerman is holding the back of his head. May have gotten contact with the boards there as Kevin Ellis is getting chummy with one of the referees. There's Ron Corey chatting there with Schmerman. I think Schmerman's going to be okay. He'll stay on, so he won't have to come out. Brett Petracek, there he is, making his 11th start of the season. Petracek 4-5, and he's playing his old mates, the old Cedar Rapids Rampage, who are now the Orlando SeaWolves. And he's been terrific so far in the first half. Ron Corey sort things out there, back there with John Sosa. Sosa has a goal tonight. Sosa plays it up to Anthony Grant. Anthony Grant looking to get it over to Matingu. It bounces back to Anthony, and he'll play it back to Sosa. Sosa plays it along for Matingu in the corner. Matingu settles it in the right wing corner. Away from the goal to Gibson. Now left wing for Grant. Anthony Grant back to Kevin Ellis. Kevin Ellis trying to go around a player. Edwin Rojas. Rojas gets it back. Rojas plays it to Alvarez, who's double teamed by the Comets, and gives it right back to Edwin Rojas. Rojas' pass nearly picked off. Neto goes back for it and gets it. Here's Elmo. Neto with a drive and a save made by Petracek. Ranging to his left. 4:46 left to play in the first half. Here come the SeaWolves pressuring Petracek. Up to Leo. Round the boards. What a pass by Ramon Palmer. Palmer to Adam James, and then Sleva off his line to knock it away. Boy, that was promising for the Comets. Now Togba. Over to Ramon. Ramon. Got Neto right in front of him. Handball called, and then it'll go against Edwin Rojas. Foul charged against him. There's Edwin. Edwin Rojas from Mexico City, Mexico.
His first of the half.
Played in several Mexican leagues. Fourth-year player. Has spent time in Chicago and Cedar Rapids. Now a drive by Togba. He gets it back. Bangs it off the boards. And it comes back out to Orlando, who gets it quickly ahead to Gerson. Gerson touches it once and then goes down. No call. Foul is called against Kansas City. We'll see if there is any contact. Gerson's slow to get up here. Gerson and Sosa, there wasn't much contact there. Gerson trying to draw something from the officials, did not. Exactly 4 minutes to play in the first half. Neto will trigger the restart, and Neto calls timeout.
Timeout, Orlando. Mid-America Nazarene University School.
Timeout on the field, and we'll keep it right here. Kansas City Comets would like to thank Miter USA providing today's match balls. Miter, founded in Huddersfield, England, is among the world's oldest sporting good brands, starting production back in 1817. Miter, a proud partner of the Major Arena Soccer League, providing arena-specific match balls to both the MASL and MASL2. We are going to give you some updates from around the league today. There are 3 other games Sunday in the MASL. Baltimore narrowly beat UCFC this afternoon. Baltimore improves to 10-6, and UCFC falls to 12-5. Baltimore wins 6-5 at home and avoids losing their 3rd game at home. Late in the 4th quarter, we had the Florida Tropics on top of St. Louis, 6-5, and that would be great news for Comets fans. We have not got an update on that score. We'll have it for you here in just a moment. Also, the 3rd game happening in Mississauga is in Harrisburg to run with the Heat at Farm Show Arena. Last check, we had Harrisburg leading Mississauga 4-0 in the 2nd quarter. Harrisburg, with a win today, would be 5-1 at home, and they would improve to 5-9 overall. There's Brian Perez, the Comets team captain, who has not missed a game of play in the last 3 years and counting. Restart here coming up to Orlando. Neto behind the ball. Rojas flashed in there trying to redirect it, and the Comets kick it away. Boy, the Comets have been much, much better today on defense. Now Robert Palmer on over to Stokic. Stokic plays the far side for Perez. Perez will hold the ball. Stokic will come over, go off. Gibson comes back on. Matingu back to Petracek. And Petracek right up Main Street to Ramon Palmer. Play to the near side to Perez and then on back towards Matingu. Alon plays it to the other side of the field with 3.5 to play on the clock, and now forward to Brian Perez. Perez, wall pass, looking for the Wallace scorer. Ramon flashed in there but couldn't put a boot on it. Meanwhile, back on the counter come the Seawolves. Neto goes down, and the Comets come back up with it. Here's Gibson, that's a 3v1. Gibson, oh, got it to Perez, and then it was broken up by Schmerman. Neto still down at the other end of the field. Here's Perez getting it into Palmer, and then we have got a foul called against Kansas City. Comets with 2 great opportunities there as we look at Neto at the other end of the field. Now, Neto got tangled up with Gibson. Here's the scoring opportunity for the Comets. Somehow, that's a foul on Kansas City. Or maybe not, maybe it is a foul. Ron Corey blew the whistle. And you've got both teams talking to the officials. I believe that's Shane Butler down there as well. 3-1 our score with 2:58 left to play until halftime. Neto being attended to by the SeaWolf training staff. Neto tried to cut the ball back inside, and when he did that, he fell right into Leo Gibson, and it looked like he did. Well, it looked like he fell right into Leo. It didn't appear that Leo's contact caused Neto to fall, but Neto goes off the field on his own power. Good news for Orlando fans. This has been a good game so far here. Push from behind by Tagba, and a foul called on Kansas City. Got his money's worth there on Osvaldo Rojas. That might have been Matingu. Sorry about that, Matingu. Gerson wants Ron Corey to step off the distance for the wall. He'll back up the Comets players. Gerson. He's got Schmerman up top as well as Mata. They'll try to go through the wall. It comes back to Gordy. He bangs it off the boards, and the Comets come out with it. It's Guy Gomez, and he gets it on up to Ramon Palmer. Here's Palmer, cutting it over to Matingu, shoots. Schmerman makes an unbelievable block for Orlando. Tremendous play by the Seawolves. Now back the other way. Gerson's got it one-on-one. Gordy to the far post, shot and a goal! 3-2. What a pass by Gerson to give it up to his teammate. And the Seawolves are within 1. That's going to go to Mendoza. There's Gerson. And he just waited to Petracek to commit to him. And Brett had to. And he laid it off there to Mendoza, who finishes it up. Jonathan Mendoza gets his 5th goal on the year. And an important goal with 2:20 left to play in the first half. So Mendoza his 5th, and for Gerson, he picks up his 14th assist. And the Comets draw the foul against Orlando. Quick restart on over to Sosa, and then it's played forward up to Leo, and Leo with Derek Huffman draped all over his back is called for the foul.
That's slippery over there. Orlando foul on number 75.
There's
Neto, his 3rd half.
Comets back the other way. Sosa over to Kevin Ellis. Kevin getting his 1st goal as a member of the Comets in the first quarter. That gave KC a 2-1 lead at 14:42. That's right at the tail end of the first quarter. Kansas City's pass touched away by Orlando, but the Comets get it back. Sosa over to Togba. Togba front and center to Sosa with 90 seconds to play in the first half. Pass by Ellis is picked off there, but Ellis is taken down to the ground and a foul called on Orlando. Quick restart. Sosa pings it with the right foot. Look out, folks. That went up and over the glass. Goalkeeper distribution coming up to Peter Sleva and the Orlando SeaWolves. So both teams go for changes now as you look at Anthony Grant coming back out of the field. And there's that fan. Wind up, give it a toss.
A mighty heave. A mighty heave indeed.
Nice job. 1:23 left in the first half. Coming up at halftime, we'll hear from Coach Kim Runfed. He'll visit with Jeff Houston. We'll also have your first half highlights. We also will go around the MASL, and we hope to hear from perhaps Coach Tom Traxler of the Orlando SeaWolves. We'll try to catch him as the club comes back out of the field from the second half.
Come on, folks. Technically, if you play and live in Orlando, you are in elevation right now. So just give a break. You're playing elevation.
Osvaldo Rojas goes down, but
second of the half.
shakes it off. Edwin Rojas with the ball.
1 minute remaining in the
Comets
first
7-7. Orlando 5-5. Orlando scores about 7 goals a game, 7.6 to be specific. Kansas City, 7-point average. Kansas City with work to do here. Here comes Orlando, and a give and go. Looking, Drew Goff was there. Goff out front. Now another drive off the crossbar from Rojas. Orlando looking for the handball, not going to get it. 18 seconds left. Comets packing it in defensively. Here comes Orlando. Edwin Rojas, front and center now, Sandoval. Over to Gerson. Gerson to Rojas, 4 seconds left. Kevin Ellis using the wall pass, trying to get around the defender. Horn sounds, and that's it. That is it for the first half. Kansas City leading Orlando by a score of 3-2. A big goal by Jonathan Mendoza towards the end of this second quarter here. And that brings Orlando to within 1. We're standing by. There's Brett Petracek, and what a first half there for Brett Petracek playing against his teammates. And now, guys, get the cameras down here on where players are exiting. We've got the Orlando players are supposed to go to the other side of the field, and the Comets are supposed to go to this side of the field. And we've had some shouting and some elbowing, and I'm sure there's some 4-letter words going on down there. I don't think Orlando, again, this is their first time here at Silverstein, so they may not remember where they exit the field. And they're going to. So Jeff is right down there in the middle of it, along with Coach Runfed and Coach Traxler. There's our score operator there, Randy, down there. Orlando is going to now leave the field here. Gerson's being escorted off, and all right, let's toss it down to Jeff. Jeff?
Good. A little bit of excitement there, Coach, at the end of the half, but overall a good first half, a lot of offensive production. What are your thoughts?
It has a little bit of a playoff taste to it, if you ask me. Defensive battle. Orlando is a great team. We've got to make sure we don't give them any cheap goals. We've got to get back behind the ball and maybe take care of a few of those opportunities we had in the first half. I think we're looking good. I'm expecting the same battle and digging deep in the second half.
All right, I'll let you get back to your team, Coach. Thanks. Back to you guys.
All right, Jeff and Coach Kim Runfed, thank you guys very much. Yeah, Coach said it all right there at the half. Kansas City 3, Orlando 2.
Stop! Living with hair loss, that is. Losing your hair is no fun, and no one wants to be bald, but there is hope.
Getting my hair back was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm happy with the way I look now.
I'm very excited about my hair.
I feel beautiful.
I love my hair.
Hair Club offers all proven hair loss solutions backed by our commitment to satisfaction guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied with the solution you choose, Hair Club will apply the purchase price to another proven hair loss solution or transplant more hair at no charge.
That was the best thing I've ever done.
It looks good on me.
Call in the next 5 minutes to get your free brochure at no obligation. It will tell you everything you need to know about your hair loss problem, and it's free if you call now.
I am more pleased than what I had even imagined.
I at least look, I would say, 5 years younger.
I'm 52, and I look better now than I did when I was in my 40s.
I feel great.
And that's not all. The first 100 people who call will also receive $250 off any hair loss solution from Hair Club. Call now.
Have you ever experienced a tequila aged 7 years in an American oak barrel and finished off 1 year in a French oak barrel? Califino, treat yourself to the fino things in life. Use promo code FINO30 to get 30% off your entire order. Buy now on califinotequila.com.
Back here at halftime, Kansas City and Orlando. The Comets lead at 3-2 over the Orlando SeaWolves. Back joining me here is Jeff Houston. Jeff, we got to talk about what happened at the end of the first half there. Both these teams are tied for second place. Both have 500 records. And Coach said it. It's like a playoff atmosphere. What was going on down there on the field?
Oh, I mean, just like you said and Kim said, it's playoff atmosphere. Every game is do or die. These guys are pumped, and it's a rivalry. I mean, this is the first time they've played Orlando, but they're still Cedar Rapids, and they've seen them all many times before. And the teams started to come off on the wrong door, and there's tensions. Just try to get everybody separated out.
Yeah, so Orlando, I mean, they came onto the field from out of the other corner, and they just made the mistake of maybe they thought they were all going to go into that corner. Is that what happened?
Yeah, and so everybody, that's what happens when you get a tight game like this, and everybody's trying to go out the same door that's built for one person to go out one at a time. So yeah, there was some tensions there at the end, but we got everybody sorted out, and we'll just have a good second half.
man, it has made for a great first half of action between these two teams. You know, it's another example of just how so many of these games in the MASL are decided by one goal or less. Have you seen anything like this in recent history?
No, this has been the most exciting year league-wide for games. You've got teams coming out of nowhere like RGV having some great games, giving Monterey some pressure. Baltimore, you know, they're losing at home for the first time, fighting back and forth with Utica City for the first position there. And then here in the South Central, you've got 3 of the 5 teams trying to fight it out for that second position.
Wow. Other games going on around the league today, St. Louis hosting Florida, and Florida was on top of St. Louis late in the contest in that one, another example. And then UCFC and Baltimore, those games were decided by a goal today as well. So further evidence that everything is just so razor thin.
Yeah, I mean, and Commissioner Josh Schwab loves it. You know, 1-goal games is where we want this to be. Everything's exciting. You never know how it's going to end up.
We don't know what's going to happen in the second half, so we'll find out here. Jeff, enjoy the second half.
Thanks.
All right, Kansas City and Orlando. We'll continue our halftime coverage next. Nick Vassos with you live here on MASL TV. Halftime at the Kansas City Comets and the Orlando SeaWolves. KC with a 3-2 lead over the SeaWolves. Let's show you the first half highlights. And here we go, first quarter. Alan Matingu got Kansas City on the board first off the restart. Matingu had one touch and then got it back off the restart there from Sosa. You saw Perez helping out there, and Kansas City leads 1-0 on a goal at 4:48. Elmo Neto got Orlando on the board here on the power play, an unassisted goal coming off the foot of Adato Neto, and he goes 5-hole on Brett Petracek, and the 36-year-old veteran ties up the game. Meanwhile, Kevin Ellis gets his first tally as a member of the Kansas City Comets on a header from James Togba. And the Kansas City takes a 2-1 lead. That's how it would end in the first quarter. And then Kansas City, a restart goal off the foot of John Sosa. It bangs off of Yoshio Sandoval. And then the third goal here, Gordy Gerson lays off a beautiful ball to Jonathan Mendoza to make the score 3-2. Comets lead Orlando here at halftime. When we come back, we hope to hear from the head coach of Orlando. We'll take a break. It's Kansas City 3 and Orlando 2 on MASL TV. Great to have you here.
Have you ever experienced a tequila aged 7 years in an American oak barrel and finished off 1 year in a French oak barrel? Califino, treat yourself to the fino things in life. Use promo code FINO30 to get 30% off your entire order. Buy now on califinotequila.com.
My name is Blair Underwood. 3 years ago, I started taking Omega XL as a part of my daily healthy lifestyle routine. It's changed my life. I'm here to share my knowledge about this amazing supplement. Omega XL is a natural omega-3 product that is very effective at reducing pain due to inflammation. I rarely endorse any product, but Omega XL is different because it works.
Omega XL is effective at relieving pain and the symptoms of inflammation, including swelling, daily aches and pains, back pain, and swollen joints.
Oh, I'm not weighed down by the burden of pain. It's changed my life. Omega XL, it works.
Start taking this product and you're going to be really happy with the results.
When you're in pain, that's all you can think of.
Omega XL offers a 90-day money-back guarantee from the date of your first order. Call now and you'll receive a bottle of Omega XL absolutely free with your first order.
You don't have to accept living a life with pain.
Call now or visit us on the web.
Is your credit card debt driving you batty?
We're going up! Just like your credit card fees and interest rates. Always fear, the debt suckers are here.
One call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your back. Consolidated Credit will lower your interest rates, consolidate your bills into one easy payment, and get you out of debt fast. Call Consolidated Credit and get your life back.
Call 800-207-4423. That's 800-207-4423.
Is IRS debt affecting you and your family? If you received a wage garnishment notice, a bank levy, or have unfiled taxes, or if you have an existing IRS debt of $10,000 or more, you need to make the call.
I made the call, and Paramount gave me peace of mind.
Paramount Tax Relief. We're here when it counts the most.
I made the call.
I made the call.
We made the call.
For a free consultation, make the call today.
Have you ever experienced a tequila aged 7 years in an American oak barrel and finished off 1 year in a French oak barrel? Califino, treat yourself to the fino things in life. Use promo code FINO30 to get 30% off your entire order. Buy now on califinotequila.com.
Downstairs to Sports Shake Field, Jeff Houston standing by with the coach of the SeaWolves.
On the field with Coach Tom Traxler. Coach said it before halftime, Coach Runvet did. This has a playoff atmosphere to it, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely it does. I mean, you look at the two teams and you look at the record, you look at St. Louis with the three of us, and that's what you get, and that's what you want. It's probably the most intriguing race in the league right now, really, the fight for second place in our division. So, yeah, the crowd's great, game's good and tight. It's everything you'd want.
All right, should we see any, expect any changes, any adjustments in the second half?
Yes, for sure. I think so, but I'm not going to tell you yet.
All right, well, thanks. We'll send it back to you guys. Thanks, Coach.
Coach Tom Traxler of the Orlando SeaWolves visiting with our Jeff Houston. 3-2, Kansas City with a slim, one-goal lead over the SeaWolves. There's the Comets huddle. You can see Ramon Palmer. Boy, Brett Petrachek's played well for KC. You give credit to Orlando. They've been great, too. First half stats,
want to point your attention to one thing here. In the second quarter, Kansas City came up with 9 blocks. And guys, I don't know if you can get a isolation here on our guy, number 51, Robert Palmer. I can remember him having at least 4, maybe 5 of those blocks. So credit the Comet defense in that second quarter for Kansas City coming up big. They had a total of 12 blocks, defensive blocks, in the first half. So the Kansas City defenders are certainly helping out their keeper, Brett Petracek. Second half is underway, and here we go. The SeaWolves have the ball to begin the second half. They'll move it right to left this quarter. Also, would like to say thanks to our entire crew here at Silverstein. Brad Zimmerman, our director, and Lindsay Adele also helping out. Jeff Houston up here in our broadcast position, and several of our photographers here. Paul Stokes is also on our team today. Thank you, Paul. Wags is our photographer on the field. And Joey Reed is here. So thanks to all of our crew here at Silverstein. We have one of the best production crews in all of the MASL to bring you the sights and sounds of the game, and they do a great job. 13:48 left to play in the third. And to end the first half, you know, Orlando they held the ball for maybe 2 minutes straight, and that's what they've done here to open up this second half. Let's see if Kansas City can maybe break that up for the Comets and maybe see if they can stop the possession here. But again, Orlando's a very talented team. As they go for changes here, both Edwin and Osvaldo Rojas go off, and Neto comes on, along with Derek Huffman. Huffman, whose Twitter account is the Huff Stuff, or is that what it is? Huff Stuff? I can't remember. But he's playing for the first time this season. He made quite a name for himself on social media last year for his comments about the MASL. And so Huffman signed and been cleared to play, and he's back out there. Petracek throws it long, up to Nacho Flores. Then kick back to Togba. See if the Comets can have some possession here. Nacho tried to use the boards to go around a defender, and then Orlando knocks it away from KC. Battling for the ball in the middle of the field. Sosa wins it, gets it over to Gibson, but Huffman clears it away. Back to Sliva. Sliva plays it forward to Mota. Mota double teamed on the boards. Petracek forward to Nacho. Now to Leo. Gibson back to Nacho. Here's Nacho, far side, Kevin Ellis. He has one in the first half. Ellis still holding the ball. Ellis lost it for a second. Can he get it back? Nope. Kicked away by Orlando, back towards the half line. Togba there. He goes down. Petracek off his line. Plays it up to Sosa. Then Sosa over to Grant. 12 minutes to play in the third. Grant runs right into Neto, and Neto strips him of the ball, and a whistle called and a foul charged against Kansas City. And that'll go against Anthony Grant. And that's his first of the half. 3-2 our score. Orlando getting that late goal, time of the goal, 12:40 of the second quarter. Gerson to Mendoza. Petracek throwing long for Gibson again. Leo settles it quickly, and a good pass over to Anthony Grant. Anthony turns and faces his defender, Schmerman. Then back to Ellis. Ellis with some nifty work here on back to Sosa. Sosa over to Matingu, who has a goal this afternoon. Some good possession time here for Kansas City. Petracek to Sosa. Then back over to Petracek. Comets 7-7 on the year. We got some scores from around the league here. We do have a final. Actually, we don't have a final. It's now in overtime. Florida and St. Louis tied at 9 in overtime. Earlier this afternoon, Baltimore defeated UCFC 6-5. And so St. Louis and Florida now tied at 9 in overtime. We'll try to get you a Harrisburg, Mississauga score update here as well. Comets are going to have a restart here right at the top of the arc. Great opportunity for Comets. They've had one restart goal this afternoon in the first half. Sosa, of course, behind the ball. Sosa goes again. He goes through again. He did it again for the second time. He faked one way and then goes right through the wall, tucks it in, and the Comets lead 4-2. Sosa is 8th on the year, fakes right, gets the wall to separate, and then just, what skill. Fakes, wall opens up, goal. How about that for John Sosa? His 8th on the year, his second restart on the afternoon. 4:02 is the time of the goal. And Orlando back with the ball. A win would go a long way for KC here this afternoon. The Comets are going to be road warriors coming up. After this game, the Comets have only 3 home games the rest of the year, and they will finish 6 of 7 on the road. Adam James with it outside. Wall pass, loose. Schmerman kicks it away. Togba holds it in. Left side for Robert Palmer. Now over to Togba. Togba, wall pass. Goes through the area and bounces out towards the half line. Palmer helps it back to Petracek. Brett will kick it into the corner looking for Leo. Leo tried to deflect it over to Nacho Flores. Back with it come the SeaWolves the other way. Gerson's pass picked off by Palmer. Now forward to James. Or now up to Palmer again. Robert Palmer had it for a moment.
Pass from Adam James.
Couldn't catch up with the pass. And Sleva out with it for Orlando. Boy, Orlando is out of sorts right now. Comets trying to find an opening here, and Gibson nearly a chance. Orlando needs to get organized. The Comets had them all out of sorts here, and this is going to give a chance here to both teams to get set up here. Sosa will play it back to Matingu. Both teams get fresh legs out there and will reorganize with 9 minutes and 10 seconds left to play in the third. Comets lead by 2. Kansas City 7-7, Orlando 5-5, and St. Louis all tied. Now a giveaway on the back line. Here's Osvaldo Rojas. His drive no good. Rebound shot, Sandoval up and over the glass. So the giveaway there in the last third does not hurt the Comets, but they cannot do that kind of stuff here in the second half. Those are the types of mistakes that the Comets have been plagued by, which has caused some inconsistencies. It has caused inconsistencies in the Comets' performance. And so far in the first half, they've been eliminating those types of mistakes, those giveaways in their last third. Foul called on Kansas City. And a restart a little bit too quick for Ron Corey's liking.
Comets foul number 22, Grant, his second.
Grant is charged for the foul. That's his second of the half. Pass picked off by Sosa. Chipped forward to Anthony Grant. Anthony Grant had it for a moment, but running in there to take it was Jonathan Mendoza. Again, Kansas City finishing 6 of 7 on the road. For Orlando, they're going to play their last 3 of their last 4 at home. And keep in mind that Orlando's, they're playing their 11th game of the season. They have 14 left this year, so 5-5 record so far for the SeaWolves, who are 3-2 on the road. Comets are 4-4 here at Silverstein. Comets are 4-4 at home and 3-3 on the road. And the record 7-7. Osvaldo Rojas. Boy, he got through a wave of blue jerseys. Now Togba running with it down the right side. Togba fires a shot, and Sleva makes the save. Boy, he and Mendoza stride for stride in a full length of the field battle there. Both players will go off and grab a breather. Gerson plays it forward to Neto. Neto pushed from behind. No call is called there on Stokic of the Comets. Meanwhile, Robert Palmer has it, and he'll play it up to Kevin Ellis. Back to Palmer. Robert Palmer. Stop and go action for Robert. To Matingu. Now Ellis with some space. Ellis will tee one up. It gets by the keeper. Comets cannot pounce on the rebound. Now Ellis again. His drive blocked this time. Ramon Palmer is over there. Now to Matingu. Matingu setting up. Gibson hits it with the left foot. That one above the crossbar. Now all the way back to Petracek. Here's Petracek with 6.5 to play in the third. Ellis goes over to Matingu. Now Matingu forward to Ramon Palmer. Here's Ramon Palmer. Palmer bangs it in there. And it goes through the area. Now Kevin Ellis over to Gibson. Leo Gibson battling with Huffman. Sleva will just kick it out of there. On up to Mata. Now Huffman. Under 6 to play in the third. 4-2 Kansas City over Orlando. Comets getting the last goal. Sosa, his second restart goal on the night. Peter Sleva, he played Friday night in St. Louis. Orlando's 7-6 overtime victory against the Ambush. St. Louis getting all that they can ask for this afternoon in overtime right now, battling Florida. Here's a drive, and that one saved by Petracek. Yoshio Sandoval had a direct line, and Petracek just got enough of it. Petracek's been sharp. Now a long one from deep range. No goods. Valdo gets it back. Save Petracek. Saved it twice. Wow, Petracek on his game this afternoon. Foul called against Kansas City. Petracek might be playing his best game of the year.
Kansas City number 3, Tomba, his first in the half.
Replay there of both of them closing in on the offensive star, on the offensive player. Petracek 4 and 5 on the year, and making his 11th start for Kansas City. There was a stretch of about almost a month that Petracek didn't play. He was battling a little bit of an injury, and Saxby spelled him for 4 games or so over that stretch of a month, and Petracek back out there again. Here's a chance by Orlando. Sandoval now front and center. It comes to Alvarez and then cleared away back to Sleva. Here's Sandoval to Alvarez. Mario Alvarez back to Sandoval. Sandoval's pass broken up by the Comets. Togba played it toward the circle. And Orlando will play it all the way back to Sleva. Comets will go for some changes. Comets need one more player out on the field, and they get Matingu back out there. Comets, great communication here. They are talking to one another tonight. Here's Schmerman. Now James. James with a lead pass looking for Nacho. Nacho collects it on the left wing. Nacho moving right. He shoots. Nacho just missed it right to the right. Nacho to Sosa. Now again, a shot and a goal. It's the Frenchman, Matingu from Sosa. Really, you could give another assist to Adam James. Matingu puts it through, and the Comets lead 5-2. There's Sosa with a great ball to Matingu. Unbelievable. There's Adam James to Sosa. Sosa to Matingu. And the Comets are on top by 3. It is their biggest lead of the game. And the second goal in the afternoon for Matingu. 5-2 Comets over the Wolves. Inside the Comet huddle, there's Alain Matingu, the tall Frenchman, getting his second on the night. Matingu's 5th on the year. John Sosa coming up with his 11th assist on the year, 11:26 time of the goal. Alain Matingu from Paris, France, spending last year with the Tacoma Stars, now back in Kansas City. Matingu, when he broke onto the scene here, Park University product, and his big year came in 16 and 17 when he scored 13 goals and had 18 assists. By the way, the kind of effort the Comets are getting tonight from the entire team in a defensive stat is really showing how the Comets are playing today. 13 blocks so far for the Comets. They average 6.7 a game, and they have 13 tonight. And now that close to being a penalty there as Rojas and Sosa get tangled up. But 13 blocks so far for the Comets tonight. I pointed that out in the first half stats. It's just a testament to the type of attitude the Comets have brought into tonight's game against this very, very tough Orlando SeaWolves team. Here's Gibson. Gibson over to Anthony Grant. Oh, Anthony with some very nice moves, but had the ball knocked away from him. Now everybody giving chase, and the Comets will get back defensively and allow the SeaWolves to take over. 2:42 left to play in the third. Orlando walks it up. It's Edwin Rojas. He plays near side to Eduardo Cruz. Cruz fires it in there. Ball loose. Shot. Goal! It's Osvaldo Rojas. And just like that, it's 5-3. There was all kinds. There was like 2 or 3 players in front of Petracek, but Cruz just sends it into the mixer there. Petracek made a save, and Osvaldo was just there all by himself, and he was easily tapped in the rebound over Petracek, who was on his back. And Osvaldo Rojas picks up his 15th goal on the year. I am not sure that they're going to give any assist to Cruz on that one. I'm going to guess it's unassisted. But just like that, they answer back. Now Comets with a chance, and that one from Robert Palmer, snared out of the air by Sleva. Neto. Neto knocked to the ground by Matingu, and Neto draws the foul. A lot of fans didn't like that, but that's what Neto does. He's able to draw fouls like that. Matingu picks up his first foul of the half. Ramon Palmer trying to dribble it out, but the pass picked off and won back by Orlando. Now Gerson over to Neto. Neto falls down. And they're going to give him at the top of the arc. They're going to call that a foul. Fans, I want you to look at this. There's Neto.
His first and a half. This brings up a good point. Reminder to watch.
That right there is an embellishment, folks. I mean, you see that there on your television screen. Neto fell over. Final score in from St. Louis. The ambush beat the Tropics in overtime, 10-9. Here it's 5-3. At the other end, Kansas City is called for the foul.
Kansas City foul number 27, Comets, his first
and Gomez called for the foul. It's his first of the half. .132 left to play in the third. 5-3, KC over Orlando. Forward it comes to Rojas. Rojas Gerson. Gerson played it forward, pinball around, and comes out to Orlando. Schmerman, Sandoval, Alvarez. Alvarez steps over it a few times. Now Sandoval drives one in there, and Stokic down to the log roll to block it. Another block for the Comets. 1 minute remaining in the third.
1 minute remaining in the third quarter.
Alvarez goes down, chopped down by Nacho. There's Mario Alvarez from Aurora, Illinois. 6 goals and 3 assists on the year. He's a 3-year Arena Pro. Schmerman, the left footer, blocked by Stokic. Oh, and then Flores goes down. Comets looking for some kind of card. Schmerman and Nacho both go down, and Nacho shaken up. Things are getting very chippy, folks. You have a feeling here that next time around that something is going to happen. I tell you, the emotions are riding high and higher as we get deeper into this game. Orlando has outshot the Comets 24-16, but Kansas City leads 5-3. It's the Comets' defense in front of Petracek and Brett himself that have kept the Comets in this game. Here's Nacho to the corner to Leo. 45 seconds left. Togba front and center, 40 seconds on the clock. Forward to Adam James. Well, you feel the next goal in this game is going to be huge. Either Orlando is going to tighten this one up, or their Comets are going to be able to extend their cushion. Right now at 2 goals. Gibson over to James. James lost it, 15 seconds left. 12, the Comets get it back. Robert Palmer off the boards. Yo, it's an own goal, Anthony Grant. It's a huge goal for the Comets with 6 seconds left in the third. Holy cow, sometimes you just got to throw it in there to make something happen. Here's another look at it here. Palmer just bangs it off the boards, and out there is Anthony Grant, who banged it right off of Sandoval. For Yoshio, that's the second time today that a ball has bounced off of him and gone into the goal. This time it's Anthony Grant who gets credit, and the Comets lead by 3 with 6 seconds left to play in the third. There's Anthony Grant getting his 8th on the year for the Comets. Correction is, yes, his 8th on the year for the Comets. And I'll say that's unassisted for Anthony Grant. 2 seconds left. Horn should sound, and there it goes.
That is the end of the third quarter. Your score,
as we take you to break, take a look at this last goal here scored by Anthony Grant. Gives Kansas City a 3-goal lead. Ball sent up to Palmer, and sometimes you just got to do the wall. It's a wall of Scora, and the Comets lead by 3.
A purposeful life is the inspiration and foundation of MNU. It's more than getting a better job. It's becoming a better person. The Christ-centered, student-centered culture at MNU will A purposeful life is the inspiration and foundation of MNU. It's more than getting a better job. It's becoming a better person. The Christ-centered, student-centered culture at MNU will leave you transformed. Our professional and graduate degree programs will challenge and inspire you to become the person you always knew you were meant to be. Learn, grow, and earn your degree at MNU, a school that shares your values and your passion. MNU, purposefully different.
Is your credit card debt driving you batty?
We're going up! Just like your credit card fees and interest rates. Always fear, the debt suckers are here.
One call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your back. Consolidated Credit will lower your interest rates, consolidate your bills into one easy payment, and get you out of debt fast. Call Consolidated Credit and get your life back.
Call 800-207-4423. That's 800-207-4423.
Have you ever experienced a tequila aged 7 years in an American oak barrel and finished off 1 year in a French oak barrel? Califino treats yourself to the fino things in life. Use promo code FINO30 to get 30% off your entire order. Buy now on CalifinoTequila.com.
Is IRS debt affecting you and your family? If you received a wage garnishment notice, a bank levy, or have unfiled taxes, or if you have an existing IRS debt of $10,000 or more, you need to make the call.
I made the call, and Paramount gave me peace of mind.
Paramount Tax Relief. We're here when it counts the most.
I made the call.
I made the call.
We made the call.
For a free consultation, make the call today.
The Major Arena Soccer League now has a podcast. Join host Craig Elston, the voice of the San Diego Sockers, as he talks to players, officials, coaches from across the league. Takes you behind the scenes of the MASL on all of the divisions. So check it out on the website, maslsoccer.com, to listen to past episodes and subscribe to the official MASL podcast. And I am happy to say that I'll be joining Craig on the podcast on Tuesday. We're going to chat about this game and all the other happenings in the South Central Division. We'll have some fun with Craig. So hope you can join us, and be sure to check out the podcast. Good coverage of the Major Arena Soccer League. Kansas City with a 6-3 lead over the Orlando SeaWolves as we get ready to kick off the fourth quarter. There's the official ball of the MASL, the MITRE USA ball. Sits right on top of that Comets iconic logo on the center circle of Sports Shake Field and the blue turf here at Silverstein Ice Center's Arena. Comets a 6-3 lead. Well, with St. Louis winning 10-9 in overtime, St. Louis now 9-8 on the year. Kansas City hoping to go 8-7 on the year. But again, it is going to be very, very close towards the end of this regular season here. Who is going to get that second playoff spot in the South Central Division? Kansas City, Orlando, and St. Louis are all fighting for it, and it is going to be close. In fact, the Comets and the SeaWolves, which are playing for the first time all season, are going to be meeting several times over the next few weeks. So we're going to be seeing more of Orlando, and you'll be seeing more of Orlando and the Comets on MASL TV and 11 Sports. 14-17 left to play in this game, and here comes Edwin Rojas, who plays it on up to his teammate Jonathan Mendoza, who has a goal tonight. On back to Peter Sliva. Sliva 2-1 with one overtime loss. His goals against average is 7. His save percentage 59%. Edwin Rojas on over to his teammate Eduardo Cruz. Cruz gets it back and will try the corner to Elmo Neto. Neto double teamed. Edwin Rojas gets it back, blocked by Guy Gomez on that drive. Now Matingu picks up the loose ball, and here comes the Frenchman. His long legs move it down inside the yellow line, and then played back to Guy Gomez. Gomez is double teamed in the corner. Gomez still battling with it, and then kicked out of bounds. And they're going to give it to the Comets right at the top of the arc. Orlando was arguing that the ball had touched a Comet player before it left the field, but the referee does not agree. So the Comets once again on the restart, and Sosa. Can Sosa trick him a third time? Nope, he goes over to Ellis, who rams it in! Top shelf where Grandma keeps the cookies. Sosa to Kevin Ellis. It's 7-3, Casey. Sosa, good pass, and Ellis. Top shelf where Grandma keeps the cookies. Ellis, he gets his second on the afternoon, his second as a member of the Comets. Sosa gets his second assist to go along with 2 goals, and the Comets lead by 4. That's the Comets. Third, I guess you could call maybe 4 the first goal of the game. You could probably call off the restart. But for sure, 3 restart goals by the Comets this afternoon. Sosa picking up his 12th assist. on the year. Now a long way to go in this one. 13 minutes to play. The Comets with a 4-goal lead. Comets. Here's Sleva. Now Goff with the drive. That one deflected and blocked by the Comets. Sleva, acting as a 6th attacker, comes over the half line. There's Schmerman. Now Goff, front and center. Sleva. Sleva's not afraid to fire one of those long ones in there. Now left side, Schmerman. Schmerman floats one in there, and then James kicks it away for the Comets.
Cleared out by Adam James.
Going over to Schmerman. Now Josio Sandoval coming on. Sandoval back down to Schmerman. 12 minutes, 9 seconds left to play in the game. Sandoval. Comets sitting back defensively, as you might imagine. Orlando has got to chase this game now. Kansas City will play fundamental, keeping their shape. Sleva. Now Sandoval. Sandoval's drive goes up and over the glass. Goalkeeper distribution coming up to Brett Petracek. And the Kansas City Comets with 11:46 left to play in the game. Comets' next home game is going to be Sunday, March 3rd against the Harrisburg Heat. That game at 4:05, kccomets.com for your tickets. Orlando's next home game will be Friday, March 1st when they welcome in the Milwaukee Wave, 7:35 Eastern time for that game. Gibson comes out with a loose ball, chased by a trio of yellow jerseys, plays it across the field to Adam James. Adam James gets it back, trying to center it into the middle, and Gordy Gerson breaks it up. James is still there, bangs it off the boards, and Orlando trying to clear it but having a hard time. So the Comets will take control and try to reset their offense. Comets playing much more disciplined than they have over the last few games. I can see Coach Kim Runfed on the bench there, yelling instructions here to, looks like one of his players, Stefan Stokic. Meanwhile, on the half line, Rojas is called for the foul. Here's Petracek. Petracek plays it on over to Sosa. Here come the SeaWolves, but a great pass there to Matingu, and the Comets are on the run. Matingu with a drive. That one blocked out of bounds by Schmerman. That one really hurt Richard Schmerman, and he's having to walk it off a little bit. Holy cow, that was a blaster right to the gut. Kevin Ellis, 2 goals. 2 goals this afternoon. That last one, 1:45 of the 4th. Kansas City home for just a few more games, folks. The next Friday night game is going to be on Friday, March 8th. So set that on your calendar. That'll be against this Orlando SeaWolves team. That'll be 7:35 here at Sports Shake Field at Silverstein Ice Center's Arena. We want to see you here Friday, March 8th. Drive by Gibson, save made by Sleva. Now back the other way. Neto on the volley, and Petracek ranging his to his left and makes a good save. Wasn't on frame, but Petracek moving well in front of the goal. Now Anthony Grant still going forward. It looked promising for Grant if he had the right bounce. Now back to Anthony, who tried to redirect it over to Perez, who sacrificed himself to get it back to Anthony. Now the Comets away from their goal to reset things. Matingu pokes it through the 5-hole and gets it over to Sosa. Now Sosa trying to thread the needle to Kevin Ellis, who was coming on. And Sleva comes up with the rebound. kccomets.com to get your tickets for that March 8th game against the SeaWolves. Another save by Petracek. And after that Friday game, March the 8th against Orlando here at Silverstein, the Comets are going to go on the road. They'll be at Baltimore, at Orlando, and then at Florida. And this begins a long streak of road games for the Comets to close out this 18-19 campaign. And again, so important with Kansas City, St. Louis, as well as Orlando, all battling for that second spot in the South Central. I think we're all just, you know, for all that we know right now, Milwaukee could have already clinched the division now. Guy Gomez playing a more prominent role, tries to slide it through Edwin Rojas. .8:16 left to play in the game. That one out of bounds. Goalkeeper distribution coming up with 8 minutes and 11 seconds. I just handed a note from my partner, Jeff Houston, who we were chatting with at the beginning of the game. You know, we made the point that Leo Gibson has 41 points coming into tonight's game, and there were no other Comet player who had 20. And I asked Jeff, where is the extra offense going to come from? Where are we going to see people stepping up on this Comets team? And Jeff was quick to point out that Kevin Ellis was specifically signed for this. And guess what? Kevin Ellis has stepped up with 2 goals this afternoon. Also, John Sosa has stepped up this afternoon with 2 goals and 2 assists. And not to mention, and also mention Anthony Grant. Anthony Grant has stepped up too. So, and Leo has been held pointless this afternoon. So the Comets getting contributions from other players other than Leo. Looks like the Comets are going to go on a power play here. Osvaldo Rojas was sent off for too many fouls. He had 4 fouls, and so he's being sent off. And the Comets are going to go on the power play for the first time this afternoon. The Comets are 64% on power plays, and the Comets are led by James Togbus, 5 power play goals. That leads all of the MASL. Now Orlando, they are 61% on penalty killing. They've been shorthanded 26 times and have allowed 10 power play goals.
All right, make some noise. You need the 7th attacker here. Our 7th ring is.
So here we go. Kansas City with the extra attacker. Over to Kevin Ellis. Ellis into Leo Gibson, who had some space, but he didn't realize it with his back to the goal. Now Perez over to Leo. Leo down to the corner to Kevin Ellis. Ellis back to Perez. Perez right side Sosa. Now BP. Over to Gibson. Gibson fires it in there and it goes in! Oh, Leo a little bit lucky there because Peter Sliva sort of stumbled and fell down, and it goes in for a power play goal. Here it is again. Leo had all kinds of room, and Sliva was moving to his left, and the ball sort of ricocheted back to the right. And so the Comets now take a 5-goal lead. It's 8-3, and Leo's point streak, scoreless point streak, has come to an end. Robert Palmer's been a big part of the Comets' defensive effort this evening. I would not be surprised to see Palmer with maybe as many as 5 blocks this evening, sacrificing his body and helping his teammates and the Comets get a victory here tonight. 6th attacker is on for Orlando, and wearing the 6th attacker jersey out there, I believe, is Edwin Rojas. 7:14 left to play in the game. Comets lead by 5. Neto with a drive in there, a ball loose out front, and Kansas City trying to come out with it. Schmerman gets it back, fires it in there off the glass, and boy, what an angle for Petracek to snare that one out of the air. He's up and throwing down the left side, looking for Robert Palmer. Corrections, Yoshio Sandoval is the 6th attacker. Now Mario Alvarez.
Orlando has the 6th attacker.
And it's Sandoval. Sandoval. Right side. Now back to Yoshio Sandoval. Now Alvarez. Comets 8, SeaWolves 3. Sandoval. Left side for Mendoza. Comets packed in defensively. Here is Palmer. Palmer got it for the Comets. Now Rojas and Neto. Everybody giving chase, and the Comets will just lift it back towards Orlando's side of the field. Here comes the buildup once again from Orlando. Under 6 to play in the game. Here's Osvaldo Rojas, who shoots. Block by Kansas City. Mendoza. Sandoval. Alvarez. Kansas City breaks up the pass. Flores kicks it long. Rolling, rolling, rolling. That one to the left. That would have been a good one to have for Kansas City. Now they go for changes, and the Comets caught partially on changes. Here's the drive by Alvarez. That one blocked right off the line by, is that Palmer again? That might be Robert Palmer, who's had an unbelievable defensive game. Now Ramon Palmer to Anthony Grant! And the Comets score again. It's Anthony Grant from Ramon Palmer, 9-3, KC. Ramon Palmer sees him, and then what a pass, puts it right on the laces of Anthony Grant. A pretty goal by Kansas City. And they're slowly but surely putting this one away. A huge victory for the Comets is in reach now with 5:04 left to play in the game. Anthony Grant now with 2 on the afternoon. That is number 9 on the year for Anthony Grant. And for Ramon Palmer, his 4th assist on the year. Peter Sliva is back in there. 6th attacker jersey is put back in the bag. Sliva lofts it in there. Petracek comes out to put it away. Osvaldo Rojas is tripped up by John Sosa, and a foul called on KC.
Kansas City number 19, his first to have.
Here's Schmerman with a drive, and Schmerman from distance, 51 feet away, hammers it home. It's 9-4. What a strike by Richard Sherman, the St. Louis native. Hit it with the left, and that one got all the way through there. Schmerman picks up a nice goal, his 4th on the year. 9-4 our score. Schmerman from St. Louis. He played club soccer at Scott Gallagher. And in the 2 years that he played in his hometown of St. Louis, he had 13 goals, 7 assists, and 30 blocks. So he's one of the leading shot blockers for Orlando, as you might imagine. 14 blocks coming into this afternoon's game. So Sliva stays in the game. 9-4 our score. 4 minutes to play in the game. Here's Schmerman. Sleva over the top of the defense, headed away by Robert Palmer, Togba, and then driven back in there. The rebound comes out to Sosa. Sosa gets by one player, then plays it out to Nacho Flores. Nacho and Elmo both giving chase. Neto is there, and then he's taken to the ground by Nacho. Foul called on Flores. Nacho Flores has been part of this defensive effort, but fans, I'm sure, wall pass out in front. Rojas goes down looking for the call. Both teams play on. The Comets come out with it. And a foul called on Mendoza, trying to take down the tall Frenchman, Matingu.
Orlando foul number 11, Mendoza is first of the half.
3 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the game. And the Comets in control here, 9-4. Here's Leo Gibson with space to operate to Kevin Ellis. Ellis plays it back to Sosa. Sosa to Ellis. He's double teamed on the half line. Gerson comes up with it. Gerson shoots just above the crossbar. Now Kevin Ellis and Schmerman are giving John at each other on the half line. And then Neto goes hard into Gibson, who's taken down.
SeaWolves foul number 75, Neto is first of the half.
I tell you, man, both teams got to keep their heads cool here in the last few minutes of this game. Neto got his money's worth there on Gibson. Coming over is Sosa. He will trigger the restart. Sosa over the top to Matingu. Matingu all the way back to Petricek. 2 minutes and 44 seconds left to play in this game. Kansas City is going to play keep away here, leading by 5. Anthony Grant, I should take that back, says, well, you know what, why not? He's got 2 on the night, making a bid for the hat trick. Forward it comes to Neto. Back to Mendoza. Mendoza down Main Street. Shot. No good. Gerson missed it on the near side. Gordy upset with himself there. Now Sandoval looking for Gerson again, broken up by the Comets. Oh, and Schmerman goes in hard. Goes really hard against Anthony Grant. Schmerman has been jawing with Kevin Ellis. Boy, and he went super hard into Anthony Grant. Here's the replay again. There's Gerson with the missed, hit it off the post. Here's the penalty coming up here in a second. Right here. Schmerman takes out Anthony Grant. Kevin Ellis has been in the middle of this game, defensively and offensively. And Orlando is keeping a very close eye on Kevin Ellis. Schmerman goes off, so the Comets will be on the power play for the last 2 minutes of the game. And they can essentially run the clock out here. It's Togba. Togba with it. Gets it over to Perez. Then back to Petricek. Sosa. Perez. Comets looking to go 8-7. Looks like they'll go 8-7 on the year. They'll be, well, within percentage points of St. Louis. Orlando will fall to 5-6. 1:16 left in the game. Sandoval over to Edwin Rojas. Kansas City will have 2 more home games here before they go out onto the road next weekend against Harrisburg on Sunday. And then the following weekend, Friday, March 8th, against this Orlando SeaWolves team once again. KCComets.com for your tickets. Meanwhile, those of you watching in Orlando, there are 2 home games coming up for the SeaWolves, both Friday and Saturday next weekend. Friday night hosting Milwaukee, and then Saturday night hosting your in-state rivals in Florida. So check the website for tickets to get your SeaWolves tickets for next weekend's pair of home games on Friday and Saturday night. 23 seconds left in this one. 9-4. The Comets are going to get the victory here tonight and go 5-4 here at home inside Silverstein Ice Center's arena. Penalty is over with. And here's a drive out front. Back in there to Schmerman, who heads it out of bounds. The horn sounds, and that is it. The game is over. And with playoff intensity, the Comets come away with a 9-4 hard-fought victory. What a game between these two rivals. Both teams meeting for the first time this season, and it was a lot closer and certainly was hard-fought throughout this game. Both teams with a handshake and mutual respect for sure. This Orlando team is going to be there till the end. There's a look at Byron Alvarez, recently signed with the Comets, El Matador, Gordy Gerson, Robert Palmer. What a great game for Robert Palmer tonight. Unbelievable. Stefan Stokic was there. Luis Mata, Cruz, Edwin Rojas, Guy Gomes, Ilan Matingu. Just good effort by everybody. And Neto, and how about Petracek tonight, folks? Brent Petracek came to play tonight, and this is the kind of effort that the Comets have been looking for all season long from their starting keeper, Brent Petracek. This is the kind of player that they thought that they were signing. And there he is, hugging his old teammate, Gordy Gerson. Petracek had a dynamite game. He's from Woodridge, Illinois, and Gordy Gerson's from Buffalo Grove, Illinois. A couple of Illinois residents here. There's Gerson. I tell you, what a player he is. And how about Kevin Ellis? 2 goals tonight for the Comet newcomer, playing in just his second game. Boy, his growth, he has looked so good just in these first 2 games. He looked great against Milwaukee. Didn't really have anything on the score sheet, but looked really good tonight. And there's John Sosa. 2 goals, 2 assists for John Sosa. 2 restart goals for Johnny Sosa tonight. Boy, the Comets had players step up tonight for sure. And I think we're going to hear from John Sosa. Steve Serrano getting into position to talk to John Sosa. He's probably going to be our first star player of the night. Let's go down to Steve Serrano. He is with John Sosa.
2 goals, 2 assists, and a big win for the Comets. How'd it feel tonight?
It felt good, man. I think we've been wanting this. We've been working for this, and I'm just proud of the guys, and I'm glad that we were able to pull out the W.
Did you guys do anything different? Did you have a different approach? A big win, especially when you put up 9.
No, nothing necessarily. I think we just kind of changed our approach, and our mentality is changing. We're in playoff run, so there's no more time to waste, and we just changed our approach.
How great again was it to be in front of these fans at home?
Oh, amazing. We're nothing but grateful for every single one of you. Your support is always amazing, and we're happy to be here, and we want to get there. We continue working towards that.
Great game again, 2 goals, 2 assists, a big win, and a great game for Sosa, 9-4. Nate, back over to you guys.
There's Steve Serrano with John Sosa, who had 2 goals and 2 assists this afternoon, helping the Comets get a 9-4 victory. We're also going to now let's toss it down to Jeff, who is standing by with Gordy Gerson. Jeff.
Thanks, Nick. I'm down here on the field with Orlando captain Gordy Gerson. Gordy, it was a tough game. You guys had plenty of shots, but Comets seemed to get in front of all of them. What else happened for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, the Comets got 5 behind the ball defensively, and it showed the numbers. 4 goals against for them. Props to them on that, defending as a whole unit. But us giving up 9 is unacceptable. I mean, we're not going to win games if we're giving up 9 goals. It's simple as that. But coming off of our first back-to-back of the year, we had 1 day off in between, but it's good to get our legs flowing, understanding what back-to-backs truly are, and we got 6 left in the season. So this was our first, and we just got to get ready and hope for the best.
Yeah, this is a tight battle. It's going to go all the way to the end for that second playoff spot in the Central Division. What do you need to do to move on for the next game?
We just need to get back at it. We play the Wave next, so they're a very tough opponent. They're top of our division. We beat them last time, so they're coming at us for sure. And we just got to be ready for it. We got a back-to-back with them in the Tropics at home next weekend. So hopefully our fans can help us out, and we can we get some support behind us so we can win both games.
All right, great game, Gordy. Thank you very much. Back to you, Nick.
All right, Gordy Gerson with our Jeff Houston. Comets victorious tonight. 9-4, Kansas City over the Orlando SeaWolves. When we come back, we will wrap it up and look ahead here on MASL TV.
Are you suffering from ongoing aches and pains? Did you get a little too ambitious enjoying your favorite activities? Don't live in pain. Contact Select Physical Therapy for relief today. From our individualized treatment plans and convenient hours to a highly trained and compassionate clinical team, Select Physical Therapy is your only choice for physical therapy, hand therapy, sports medicine, and work health services. Your healing can start today. Schedule an appointment at one of our convenient locations at selectphysicaltherapy.com or call 800-770-6682.
Stop! Living with hair loss, that is. Losing your hair is no fun and no one wants to be bald, but there is hope.
Getting my hair back was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm happy with the way I look now.
I'm very excited about my hair.
I feel beautiful.
I love my hair.
Hair Club offers all proven hair loss solutions backed by our commitment to satisfaction guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied with the solution you choose, Hair Club will apply the purchase price to another proven hair loss solution or transplant more hair at no charge.
That was the best thing I've ever done.
It looks good on me.
Call in the next 5 minutes to get your free brochure at no obligation. It will tell you everything you need to know about your hair loss problem, and it's free if you call now.
I am more pleased than what I had even imagined.
I at least look, I would say, 5 years younger.
I'm 52, and I look better now than I did when I was in my 40s.
I feel great.
And that's not all. The first 100 people who call will also receive $250 off any hair loss solution from Hair Club. Call now.
Have you ever experienced a tequila aged 7 years in an American oak barrel and finished off 1 year in a French oak barrel? Califino, treat yourself to the fino things in life. Use promo code FINO30 to get 30% off your entire order. Buy now on califinotequila.com.
And we are back live at Silverstein Ice Center's Arena. The Comets get 2 goals from John Sosa, 2 from Matingu, 2 from Ellis, 2 from Grant, 1 from Gibson, and they get a whole host of block shots from Robert Palmer to help defeat the Orlando SeaWolves by a score of 9-4. The Comets' next home game is going to be next weekend, Sunday, March 3rd against the Harrisburg Heat. Next home game for Orlando will be Friday, March 1st against the Milwaukee Wave. So check your listings for all of those games on MASL TV. I'd like to thank our entire Silverstein Ice Center's crew, including Brad Zimmerman, our producer, director, and his entire staff. Great job by everyone. Comets victorious. We'll see you next weekend here from Sports Shake Field and Silverstein Ice Center's Arena. Good night, everybody.